Hello, the subject is marketing management and the topic is approaches to study of marketing. Approaches to study of marketing. The study of marketing has been approached in more than one way. To some, it has meant to sell something at a shop or marketplace. To some, it has meant the study of individual product and its movement in the market. To some, it has meant the study of persons like wholesalers, retailers, agents, etc., who move the products, and to some, it has meant the study of behavior of commodity movement and the way the persons involved to move them. The approach to the study of marketing has passed through several stages before reaching the present stage. It has continuously kept on evolving in its way and means. There is a process of evolution in the development of these approaches. The following are the different types of approaches to study of marketing, and let us see one by one what they are and what they actually mean. The first approach to the study of marketing is product or commodity approach. The name itself suggests on what it is based. Under the commodity approach, the focus is placed on the product, or it is an approach on the marketing on commodity-wise basis. In other words, the study relates to the flow of a certain commodity and its movement from the original producer right up to the ultimate customer. The subject matter under this study is commodity. When one studies the marketing on this basis, commodity approach, one must begin to study and analyze the problems relating to a commodity, that is, sources and conditions of supply, nature and extent of demand, mode of transporting, storage, standardization, packing, etc. Again, we'll take an example of commodity, say rice. One has to study the sources of rice, location, people involved in buying and selling, means of transport, problems of selling the product, financing, storage, packing, etc. Thus, we get a full picture of marketing from the original producer to the ultimate consumer. The method of study is repeated for each item. The system claims that it is simple and gives good results over the marketing of each product. Description study is possible, but at the same time, this approach is time consuming and repetitive process, which is a drawback. Hence, product or commodity approach fully focuses on the product or commodity that has to be delivered by the company. The second approach to study of marketing is institutional approach. In the institutional approach, the focus is on the study of institutions such as middlemen, wholesalers, retailers, importers, exporters, agencies, warehousing, etc., who are engaged in the marketing during the movement of goods. The approach is also known as the middleman approach. Here, emphasis is given to understand and analyze the functions of institutions who are discharging their marketing functions. We completely study here all those people and institutions involved in delivering the goods. The activities of each institution form a part of marketing and collectively complete the marketing functions. In the process of moving the goods from the producer to the final consumers, a large number of persons are engaged, as you and I know. This system pays attention to the problems and functions of marketing institutions like transporting, banks, and other financial institutions, warehousing, advertising, insurance, etc. This method does not give adequate knowledge of the entire marketing functions and also fails to explain the interrelations of different institutions. This approach does not establish who is superior and who is inferior, who has to obey who has to listen to whom, and who has more authority, and who has to be a subordinate. This approach does not clarify what is the stand of each institution in the process of delivery of goods to the consumer. Hence, this approach fails in giving proper meaning and understanding to the study of marketing. But this system pays attention to all the problems and functions of marketing institutions overall. Thus, institutional approach evolved. The next approach to the study of marketing is functional approach. The functional approach, the name itself suggests on what it is focusing on. The functional approach gives importance on the various functions of marketing. In other words, one concentrates attention on the specialized services or functions performed by marketers. In this approach, marketing splits into many functions like buying, selling, pricing, standardization, storage, transportation, advertising, packing, etc. This may be studied one after another. Here, each function is studied in detail in order to understand and analyze the nature and need and importance of each function. In this approach, marketing is regarded as business of buying and selling, and as including those business activities involved in the flow of goods and services between the producers and consumers. This system gives too much importance to various marketing functions and fails to explain how such functions are applied to the specific business operations. It is not clear which is important function and to what type of organizational operations. But this approach, known as the functional approach, focuses fully on the functions performed by the agents or market or sometimes marketers itself. But it is not still clear how such functions are to be applied to different varied types of specific business operations which require different kind of approach in operating the functions. Thus, functional approach to the study of marketing. The next approach to study of marketing is management approach. This approach is the latest and scientific. It concentrates upon the activities or marketing functions and focuses on the role of decision making at the level of firm. This approach is mainly concerned with how managers handle specific problems and situations. Business keeps on getting different kind of problems, different kind of distortions, and different kind of decision making situations that has to be handled by the manager, and he has to handle different problems in a different format. Hence, this approach gives some kind of idea for the manager to pay attention to these situations and problems and handle them in a way that could benefit the company and the business. It aims through evaluation of current market practices to achieve specific marketing objectives. Generally, there are two factors which are bound. The businesses are controlled and impacted. They are controllable and uncontrollable, which are more concerned with the decision making. There are factors which can be controlled, and there are certain factors which cannot be controlled by the management of the company. Let us see what are those controllable and uncontrollable factors which impact and affect the company's process. Controllable factors include price adjustment, advertisement, spendings and expenses on the company's resources, etc. Uncontrollable factors thus include economical, sociological, psychological, political, etc. And these are the basic causes for market changes. And these changes cannot be controlled by any firm, be it a smaller firm or a larger firm. But controllable factors can be controlled by the firm to a larger extent to the benefit of the company as well as the market. The uncontrollable limit the marketing opportunities. The uncontrollable factors affect and limit the marketing opportunities of the company to a larger extent. As such, managerial approach is concerned with the study of uncontrollable and then taking decisions for controllable within the scope set by uncontrollable. Managerial or decision making approach emphasizes on the practical aspects of marketing. It focuses on what is in the real market, what is in this market today, what is the practical aspect of marketing that is existing in the market now, but it ignores the theoretical aspects of marketing. That's where the problem starts. At the same time, this approach provides an overall information of the entire business, which makes this approach a feasible one for us to study the approaches of marketing. Thus, management approach gives information of the entire business is an apt one for this scientific world and this world of business which is run by most cases by managers. The next approach to study of marketing is system approach. The system approach can be defined as a set of objectives together with relationships among them and their attributes. Systems focus on interrelations and interconnections among the functions of marketing. The system examines marketing connections, that is, linkages, inside as well as outside the firm. What the business is in itself a system interconnected within and with the outside world. Inside the firm, there is a coordination of business activities, engineering, production, marketing, price, etc., which should all go through in a flow with cooperation and coordination for the success of business. If not, it is going to result in a havoc to the business. On the basis of feedback information, proper control is exercised to modify or alter in the producing process so that the desired output can be produced. Here, the aim is to secure profit through customer satisfaction. Markets can be understood only through the study of marketing information, which is based on the data that is being collected in the market and analyzed, and you arrive at the information that is wanting to be commercialized by the business owner. For instance, business is composed of many functions which are composed of sub-functions. Each function or sub-function is independent but interrelated and enables the other to achieve marketing objectives. System approach clearly says that systems focus on interrelations and interconnections among the functions of marketing, and if there is no coordination among the business activities, among the functions and sub-functions of the departments in the company, then it might not have a run towards success. Thus, system approach focuses on the interrelations and interconnections among the functions of marketing. The next approach to study of marketing is societal approach. This approach has been originated recently due to the enhanced understanding and new thought process which has increased in the minds of the people and experts towards the society and well-being of it. The marketing process is regarded as means by which society meets its own consumption needs. This system gives no importance as to how the business meets the consumer needs. Therefore, attention is paid to ecological factors, to the environmental factors, to the natural factors, to the factors of earth like sociological, cultural, legal, etc. And the manager has to take marketing decisions and their impact on the society's well-being. They have to focus their production and they have to focus their marketing decisions which would enhance the life of well-being and the well-being of the society and its population all put together. If it is going to cause harm, then it is against the approach of society. Hence, this approach focuses fully on the society, its culture, and its legal aspects. Based on this approach is finding a new kind of flavor in this world of business. Thus, societal approach is finding success for the survival of the business and for the well-being of the society put together. The next approach is legal approach. This approach emphasizes only one aspect, that is legal, which is put on papers. This approach is speaking on the transfer of ownership to buyer. It explains the regulatory aspect of marketing. In India, the marketing activities are largely controlled by Sales of Goods Act, Carrier Act, etc. The study is concentrated only on legal aspects, all that is on papers, leaving other important aspects. This does not give an idea of marketing, but it is simply stating that what are the rules and regulations that one has to follow while delivering the goods to the customer or consumer. This bounds the business owner and it pays well if he is in the right path. This path is so easy that it is laid down so well. So following this path is not a difficult task for the business owners. In the process of marketing, if the company is in the legal approach, the success is for sure, but it is not followed by every individual business owner. The problem is that. But legal approach will give survivability and profitability in long run without having to face any kind of legal complication in a given boundary of the countries and given boundary of business world. Thus, legal approach emphasizes on transfer of ownership to the buyer. The last approach to study of marketing is economic approach. This approach deals with only problems of supply, which is an age-old concept. It not only focuses on supply, it also focuses on supply, demand, and price. These are important from the point of economy. These are important in the point of an economist, but not in the eyes of a marketer. He cannot make profit, and not in the eyes of the consumer because he cannot get satisfaction. But it does fail to give a clear idea of marketing, and this approach has always been a age-old ancient thought process which fully focuses on the elements of economics such as supply, demand, and price. Though the market is driven fully by these three elements, yet these three alone cannot make the marketing a successful one, and this approach is still finding pace to this changing world, and this is still giving some kind of base to other approaches of marketing. This economic approach is still dealing with problems of supply, demand, and price, which is not yet being able to find a solution. Thus, economic approach of study of marketing. So, we have studied the approaches to the study of marketing in this presentation. Thanks for listening.